Hey, my organic family, this is your girl, Organic Sister, and today I am in the kitchen and I want to talk to you about how to prepare for a hurricane. We're here in Georgia and we are getting ready to experience the straight path of Hurricane Helene. So I wanted to show you some things that you could do to prepare for a hurricane. Now, obviously, we think about the natural things like always getting water and food. But I want you to think about the kind of foods that you pick up. Now, naturally, getting water is the first thing that we think of, and this is usually the first thing to go in the store. But I want you to think about the kinds of foods you should get. Now, canned goods are going to be the first thing to go to because these are things that we could open right out of the box and then eat or consume. But I want you to think about the kind of canned goods that you get. Now, there are actually vegans in my house, and so there are actually vegan canned foods that you can get that you can store for the next couple of days just in case you're going to have massive power outages. But the most thing that people forget when it comes to a storm is having a can opener. So you're going to need a can opener to open most of these canned goods that you are going to be storing up for the next couple of days. Now, most of us always think about, a flashlight. The lights are going to go out. So you're going to need your handy dandy flashlight. I like to use the flashlights with a lot of lumens, and I only learned that through having a husband who used to be really obsessed with flashlights. But I understand that the lumens give you the brightness and it's able to carry the light further distance. So get something with high lumens. This is 500 lumens. So make sure you get something that gives you enough illumination that will light up at least the room. Now, we always think about first aid kits. So you got to have a first aid kit just in case, windows break and there's shard glass and people get hurt and you may step on glass. And for whatever reasons, whenever there's massive power outages, there is a influx of people in the emergency room. So make sure you have a good safety kit that is a great emergency kit. Now, when it comes to consumable foods, I like to have foods that are going to be very quick or easy. For example, if I have a rechargeable coffee mug, and I don't drink coffee, but I use it for tea, I can just heat up some water and use this for a whole entire meal and actually have soup as a meal while we are sheltering in place. The other thing is you may be thinking about candles. Well, candles is the easy go-to, but a lot of people forget the matches. So you gotta have something to light up your candle. So make sure you have a good lighter or some good matches. Another thing is medicine. You're always going to need medication if you're taking medication on a daily basis. So make sure that you have your medicine. But I want you to think about those of us who actually have to have refrigerated medications. So if the power goes out and you don't have refrigeration, you're going to need something to refrigerate your medications, such as insulin. So I want you to think about getting a cooler and having some ice or even some dry ice, if you will, because if you're afraid of some of your foods going bad within, and I would prepare for a 72-hour emergency outage. So getting a cooler with some ice or some dry ice to refrigerate or keep cold certain foods that you will be consuming over the next few days. Also, if you know that your stove is not going to be working, make sure that you have gas for your grill or you have charcoal for your grill if you don't have a gas grill. So those are things that you want to do. Also, I love stuff like this. These are quick grabs. These are also, although that they're microwavable, you still can steam these for about 90 minutes on a burner if you have a burner. Now, the reason why I still can use these is that I also try to implore things that give me portable electricity. So, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But a lot of things that we often forget when it comes to emergencies is wipes. Now, you may be not only just out of electricity, but you may be out of water. So, what are you going to use to wipe yourself or clean yourself? So, these are obviously wipes for disinfectant, and trust me, you're going to need it. But you're also going to need baby wipes if you're not able to shower or bathe due to the power and the water being out. So you want to make sure that you have some wipes that you can use. There are foldable disposable towelettes that you can get. They're pretty huge and you can cover at least one body with it. And so those disposable towels or larger wipes are great for those of us who still want to shower and be clean during the potential power outages or down. Now, another form of food is something like this. This is quick grab. These are chicken salads or tuna salads. These are easy because you don't have to refrigerate. Not only that, you don't have to heat these up. And you know, you're in a lockdown situation or a shelter down situation. So a quick grab like this can actually be a meal and a go-to in terms of eating. Always keep stock batteries. There are things that can be activated or turned on electrically as well as with a battery. So make sure you have batteries, and some of us will need batteries just for the flashlight. I prefer some of these newer rechargeable flashlights that can actually be recharged by USB. There's a USB with this, so this makes it very good for those of us who are still going to be, you know, trying to stay on the grid. Now, I don't just like to have water. I like to have electrolytes. A lot of times you won't be eating the way that you want to eat, doing a shelter in place kind of thing. So being able to put electrolytes in your water while you're sheltering in place is a good idea, so you won't get dehydrated, so you're still being replenished with the vital nutrients that you need. Scissors. You're always going to have to cut something in the time of sheltering in place, so this is something that you need to have as well. I love little snacks like this. Almonds, cashews are also good kind of foods that you can have while you're sheltering in place. And just, you know, you're gonna have to get over just for a few days potentially having that family meal or having that meal as it normally is. So make sure you don't do that. I also like having bread. Bread does not have to be refrigerated. This is something that you can have on the go, which is really, really quick. You can have some peanut butter and jelly. Those don't have to be refrigerated, so you can have quick meals or good meals for the kids if you are sheltering in place with young children. And then finally, one of the things that one of the things that we often forget is chargeable. So if you need to have communication still being active and still communicating with others, you're going to need actually a portable charger. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this, because there are a lot of chargers that are solar, and there are a lot of chargers that are power banks. So right about now, you should be power banking all of your power equipment, so that in case of power outages, you will always have a good supply of stored energy so that you can charge these. So if you have great power banks for your cell phone, I am suggesting that you charge these up. But the biggest thing is what I have here. This is my Jackery. My Jackery is my foolproof power bank for things that may potentially happen in the case of power outages. This is a Jackery 500, so anything that is powered 500 watts or less, I can charge this. So I can charge a small refrigerator, I can charge my cell phone, I can charge radios, I can charge smaller TVs, I can power my laptop. So this will give me about, I want to say, 5 days of coverage for power outage. So in times of, okay, you know, let's say we're just out of power for about 72 hours. This not only covers just my cell phone usage in the household, but we have neighbors that may need to communicate with their family and friends and let them know. And after a day, they may not have power. So this is not just for me, this is for potential family members. And this is a solar power bank. So not only do I have the ability to charge this with an AC generation, I also can take this outside and solar power this in the case of, let's say, the power outages are out for weeks. I have the ability to generate electricity for days and weeks on a time if that's the thing. The last thing that I want to show you is, because you may be flooded, you need to have a place where you have important papers like your birth certificate, insurance cards, insurance information, bill information, and all of these things, because you never know when times like these happen. Sometimes you may have to leave your home, and you may leave your home for days, if not weeks. You think about other hurricanes that have happened, and people are just at a total loss because they did not prepare, and you don't have copies of warranties, you don't have copies of school records, you don't have copies of insurance, you don't have copies of bills, and you just had to flee your home. So for those of us who may have to flee our home at a moment's notice, having important papers already copied and stored is a good idea. Now, finally, what you can do, just in case you do have to leave home quickly, you want to put all of these things in a bin. And if you put these things in a bin like this, if you have to leave, all you have to do is just grab this. So I would suggest for the next couple of hours, those of us that are here in Georgia, that you have a bin that you can store all of these items with and have a place, because the weather is anticipating to get really bad here. So if you've decided to stay here and shelter in place overnight, they're expecting this to happen overnight and rather quickly. So, but if you have to leave, let's say you sustain a lot of damage to your home and you literally have to leave, or if your whole entire community is decimated, you have to have some things that you're going to be able to pick up and leave at a moment's notice. Or if we're dealing with cleanup tomorrow, you're going to have something in place. So I hope this is helpful. This is your girl, Organic Sister. Have a wonderful day, and everybody out there, please stay safe.